Hi, welcome back to DC Conversations. I am Balu Pulipaka. Today we'll talk about a little known atmospheric phenomena called the Indian Ocean Dipole. And this is almost like Indian Ocean's very own La Nina, the atmospheric conditions over the Pacific Ocean that ensure that India actually receives a good monsoon. But this year, all predictions point to a very strong El Nino forming over the Pacific Ocean. And there are serious concerns about how it's going to impact the monsoon this year. But the Indian Ocean Dipole is now in play. And Dr. Akashapu Dharmaraju explains it to us what it is, how it works, and what it can mean for the Indian monsoon this year. Listen to
The
him.
Bay of Bengal is the eastern Indian Ocean. This area, entire this part of thing is considered to be East Indian Ocean. This part is considered to be Arabian Sea, and rest of the part is considered to be West Indian Ocean.
So actually, Bay of Bengal is not a sea by itself. It is just a geographical feature.
Exactly.
So it is
Bounded by Indian Ocean.
So we actually call it Eastern Indian Ocean.
Exactly.
If I were to give a name to that water, it should be Eastern Indian Ocean.
Eastern Indian Ocean.
Okay.
This is the Western Indian Ocean.
Okay.
And moreover, no, sir, this Western Indian Ocean water should be most of the time warmer than the Eastern Indian Ocean.
Okay. That is when the IOD is positive.
Positive phase.
Okay.
So when this happens, because of this will increasing SST conditions trigger the moisture laden winds to move towards the Indian landmass.
Okay. Because the land is that because the landmass is hotter than the
Exactly.
sea temperature.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And moreover, no, sir, during the southwest monsoon, the winds will be moving from when they cross from the equator, no, sir, this area, 0 degree area, they will, by hitting this cone of Africa, they will take a curvature of southwesterly component.
Okay.
So because of this recurving nature, no, sir, and there is a plenty of Coriolis force when it moves from equator towards certain height.
Okay.
Because of this Coriolis force and all, no, sir, it will reflect like this.
Okay.
After hitting this horn of Africa, it will reflect like this.
Okay.
So because of this, and again, this almost this is high temperatures here,
right?
And these winds are moving from here, no, sir.
Right.
Suddenly, easterly position they changes to southwesterly.
Okay.
So because of that, here there will be a lot of moisture laden wind will be loaded here, sir.
Okay.
Because of the cooling in temperature.
Okay.
So because of that, Indian landmass will be getting plenty of rainfall during the IOD, which is in a positive phase condition.
Okay. So right now it is in a neutral phase. Okay. And one question I have for you. When you're talking about the temperature difference between the Eastern Indian Ocean and Western Indian Ocean, what is the temperature difference in if I were to understand as a common man? What should be the difference in temperature between this side of the sea to that side of the sea? Like, is it 2 degrees? Is it 5 degrees? Or does it keep changing?
Yes, sir. It's the temperature in the Eastern Indian Ocean and the Western Indian Ocean always keeps on changing, sir.
Right.
Because of the sediments which we dump into the oceans.
Right.
And when it compares to the Western Indian Ocean, Eastern Indian Ocean, there will be a lot of dumping of sedimentation, sir.
Because of the big rivers we have, Brahmaputra and Ganga. Okay.
So because of this huge dump of this sedimentation, this will be almost most of the time, no, sir, it will be hotter, sir, actually.
Okay.
And here the sedimentation dump will be lesser.
Okay.
But however, because of this IOD phase conditions, no, sir, here first precaution is already hotter.
Yeah. Can I just stop you there for 1 second and ask you a question?
Exactly.
When you said the Eastern Indian Ocean or the Bay of Bengal area is hotter because of all the sedimentation dumping, are we also talking about the heat in the ocean?
Exactly.
The heat of the ocean is higher in the Bay of Bengal side. Is it because the depth is lower? Is it more shallower than the Arabian Sea side? Or is it, because of the sedimentation, how does the sedimentation play in temperature
Exactly.
regulation?
When it compared to the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal is a landlocked.
Okay.
Eastern Indian Ocean
Alright.
is
Okay.
a landlocked.
Right.
And most of the time, no, almost here you can see completely it is a landlocked condition.
Right. I
And
understand.
because of this and shallow nature,
Okay.
all this will be
okay.
triggering.
Understood. Alright. Understood.
Whereas here, no, sir, triggering will be lesser.
Okay.
Triggering will be lesser and sedimentation runoff will be also compared to Bay of Bengal.
Is much,
This is much lesser. Because of that reason, we'll be having more cyclones here rather than the Arabian Sea.
Aha. Okay,
Exactly.
that explains the other thing.
Yeah,
So what would be the temperature difference in degrees in terms of, for an IOD to be positive,
Yeah.
how much of a difference should be there?
Sir, usually we call it.
I mean, I'm asking for a common person.
Exactly,
You see.
exactly. The thing is that, no, sir, like our land, we have a heat budget.
Right.
Ocean is also having its own heat budget, sir.
Okay.
In this, we'll be having something like, no, SSTs will be taken into consideration. Latent heat will be taken into consideration. All these factors, almost heat budget balanced components are taken into consideration. So, if at all, when it comes to land, no, sir, the temperature will be much higher. Land will get heated up quicker and loses the heat very quicker. But when it comes to ocean, it gets heated up very slow, and losing capacity is also heat losing capacity is also very slow.
Okay.
And because of this dimension, if you see Arabian Sea and Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal,
Right.
Arabian Sea size is bigger, sir, actually,
Right.
because of Bay of Bengal is a landlocked one.
Correct.
And this one, usually here, as I said, no, sir, sedimentation will be there.
Right.
And there will be a much temperature difference in the sense, no, sir, the rivers which we, as I said, no, definitely it causes the salinity variation will be there. And because of that, the SST, not only in Indian Ocean as well as these Bay of, so-called Bay of Bengal or Arabian
When
Sea.
you say SST, you mean the
Sea surface
surface temperature.
Yeah.
Okay.
This sea surface temperature will vary, sir, accordingly.
Okay.
When we take the differences, no, sir, then it will be marginally 2 to 3 degree. Sometimes, if greater the differences, greater the triggering will be more, sir.
Okay.
That is
And
the
how
thing.
do we measure the temperatures? Do we have buoys or something
Exactly,
there? How
sir.
do we know?
Like India Meteorological Department, no, sir, the ocean will be deployed by different buoys, sir.
Buoys.
So this is again maintained by INCOIs.
Okay.
So they will be monitoring 24/7 the ocean.
Okay.
For all the tsunami or tidal wave conditions, all these things. Again, we do have our own coastal belt stations also, which will be monitoring not only these things, tidal winds, as well as they will be monitoring the cyclones as well, sir.
Okay.
So this ocean part will be taken care by the INCOIs, and they will be having their own calculations to measure the sea surface temperatures.
Okay.
And like by dumping different buoys and ships that we run from the Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal,
Right.
traveling in the.
Okay. So we also use the commerce,
Exactly.
the ships that go.
Exactly.
So,
All
okay.
this will give us
So
the.
they share information about the weather conditions and the
Exactly,
seas.
sir.
Oh, okay. All
At
right.
the same time, we will be having satellite observations
Right.
also, sir.
Right.
So all this will be helping us to derive
Okay.
the sea surface temperature conditions.
So this year, are we expecting a positive IOD?
Yes, sir. As I said, no, sir. Right now, till I think July, mid of July, the SST conditions over this region will be neutral phase, sir. IOD conditions are neutral phase.
Okay.
Later on, no, sir. As we have released the first phase of this Indian summer monsoon phase,
Yes.
they said that the long range studies are suggesting that this IOD present conditions are in a neutral phase.
Right.
Once the mid July comes, it will be turns into a positive phase. So ultimately, once this is this positive phase is acts as a pushing force,
Okay.
pushing force of moisture towards the land.
Okay. So in a way, IOD, a positive IOD, actually acts like our own little La Nina.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's not really La Nina, but it can kind of negate to some extent the impact of El Nino.
Exactly, sir. The thing is that right now, as people are scientific community is saying that there is a strong El Nino conditions are prevailing in the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
At the same time, Indian domain, because of this positiveness in the IOD, this Pacific Ocean forces are not allowing the hot, something like sea surface temperature, hot, humid sea surface temperatures to come into the Indian Ocean. But at the same time, because of these IOD conditions, this the blockage here may not be favoring. That is a what is that, which is a pushing force towards the in.
Right.
But this IOD acts as a pulling force.
Okay.
Pushing force to the pushing force of the water towards the landmass.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, this is
Yeah.
very helpful, Dr. Akash. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.